Everyone's mad at me. Family's mad at me. Friends are mad at me. People are mad at me. Well, to my friends, to my family, you guys notice just as much as I do. Why do you think 15 years ago they lied about my contract that was signed and notarized? Why do you think they did that? Why do you think they went through great lengths to lie about my contract that was signed and notarized? Yeah, the color of my skin. Yeah, the name Blaxican. Yeah, I'm living in a $500,000 house paid off for that they'll never have in their whole entire life. Yeah, about the in-ground pool. But you're missing the main example. The real reason why they lied about my contract signed and notarized and went through all of that trouble to lie a whole year later is because they don't want me going to a jury to talk. There's not one person in their right fucking mind who wants me to talk to a jury. Face the facts of life. Patrick Fitzgerald is the best lawyer in the history of planet Earth. That's not an opinion, that is a fact of life. We have sayings. Michael Jordan's the best basketball player on planet Earth. No denying that. Howard Stern is the king of media. He's the best radio personality on planet Earth. No denying that. Patrick Fitzgerald is the best lawyer in the history of the world that's called planet Earth. You need 10 Patrick Fitzgeralds to outtalk me. That is a fact of life. My family and my friends who are mad at me right now, you know this. I don't know where I come up with these communication skills. I don't know. Why do you think they made my bond $1 million? Well, yeah, because they wanted to keep me locked up. Yeah, maybe they were a little frightened, possibly. But what's the bigger reason? They made my bond $1 million because they don't want me picking 12 and talking to a jury. They know in their heads. They know in their heads. Maybe at the time they didn't know, but now I'm pretty sure they figured it out. This guy allegedly left all the evidence that goes in his favor in the emails, in the video. So you're telling me we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick a jury, we're going to pick 12, and he's not even going to have to talk about the evidence? We can't even try to redact the evidence of what he's allowed to tell the jury? But you're telling me as a prosecutor we have to read this evidence? What does this evidence say? This evidence says he was in prison for 3 years for a crime he didn't do. This evidence says that Mannequin is corrupt and they were hiding shit. This evidence shows that he has an organization called Operation Chicago and he's trying to save the lives of little babies. This evidence shows that he's trying to support and help the Chicago Police Department out. I, as a prosecutor, am supposed to read this to a jury? They're not going to find him guilty. Granted, there's other stuff in this evidence, but look at the majority of this. This guy planned it out perfectly. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ, looking at me now, I apologize that I am the best communicator in planet Earth. I apologize that I have these psychology skills. I adapt. I connect. I'm sorry. But if you really want to try to learn from me, if you really want to try to educate yourself, if you really want to try to get some of my skills, I got one tip for you. It's kind of simple. How about honesty? How about you just be an honest person? How about the jury and any human being will recognize honesty? Frequencies, keywords. Forget the manipulation, forget the psychology, forget the tricks. Humans recognize other humans. So let's just be honest here. Oh, my family's mad at me. You know not to do this with me. Why are you mad? Just having fun. We're just having a conversation. That's it. Everyone's mad at me. I don't know why. I don't know why. Look, let's get to it, okay? Well, everyone's hanging up on me. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Hey, I'll tell you this right now. The biggest mistake that Donald Trump ever did in his whole entire life, he fired Comey. And I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the time, Donald Trump is saying to himself, that was my biggest mistake of doing that to James Comey, of doing that to the FBI. You just don't do that to certain people. Yeah, and I learned this in high school, and I'm not going to get into details and specifics how I learned it, but let's just say I learned it in my fucked up high school that I went to. There's some people that you just don't fuck with. That's just a fact of life. I know who to fuck with, and I know who to not fuck with. And I never fucked with the FBI. A lot of people in my high school never fucked with the FBI. You guys are over here going to criminal justice class, and you guys are over here in court. You guys are over here in law school, and I'm over here a sophomore in high school with all these other criminals in my school, with other people paying visits, and it wasn't the police, by the fucking way, with other criminals talking about their felonies and juveniles and what crimes they're committing. It was like the mafia. It was all organized. Everyone agreed. You just don't fuck with the FBI. You don't want to do Fed time. You don't want to be on their radar. It's 85% of the time that you're going to do an FBI land jail. They have more resources. They have more intelligence. They have more toys. They set up shop. They fuck up you just don't fuck with the FBI. It's black and white, that fucking simple. Out of all the shit that I've ever done in my life, I never even thought one time of fucking with the FBI for a lot of reasons. Obviously, clearly, Trump didn't get the memo. Obviously, clearly, Trump didn't get the education that I got. Obviously, clearly, Trump didn't go to high school with criminals, serious criminals, that I went to. Obviously, the number one reason, besides the fear of the FBI and federal prosecutors and the U.S. Attorney's Office and 85% of Fed time, and it's just out of state on a plane that sucks that I heard is real bad, it's just out of self-respect. It's really that simple. Bomb goes off, you call the FBI. Mass shooting goes off, you call the FBI. Kidnappings go off, you call the police, they call the FBI, because they run the country. They're responsible for keeping all of us safe. And I'm not going to stick on this. If you haven't figured this out at your age in life, I don't know what to tell you. It's not even the FBI and the three letters and the bureau and the symbol and where they train at. It's who they were as a person before they came in. We all have a calling in life. Firemen, police, FBI, CIA, Secret Service, military, architect, model, cook. We all have callings in our life. We all are someone, and that we have this, and we do it, and we pursue it. We all have a calling. Forget the three letters of the FBI. It's the person. It's the person before they even joined. It's the person before they even took the test. And if you guys, again, don't understand that, I don't know what to say. So let's get to it. Donald Trump. Oh, God. Sorry, nervous laugh. My family's hanging up on me. I'm doing it to them left and right. I don't know why you're doing this to me. You know I'm a snake. You know there's something wrong with me. Donald Trump, obviously his Mar-a-Lago and his mansion got raided. And you have all these people sending me these links from CNN and Fox and news anchors and professors of law and even former FBI agents, which is fine. I respect that. It's okay. Why do you have to go on TV saying you're a former FBI agent, though? Just asking a question. Just a simple question. When you go on TV, why do you have to tell the news anchor, and why do you want us Americans to know that you're a former FBI agent? Am I not allowed to ask a question? It's just a simple, honest question. What are you trying to tell me when you speak that you're a former FBI agent? Let's forget about it. Let's put that aside. There's hundreds and thousands of people who take that shit with them to the grave. There's hundreds and thousands of people who don't want that recognition. There's hundreds of thousands of people who don't need that recognition. So I ask you one more time. I'm just curious. I guess it's your right. But if you care to answer the question, why do you have to tell us American people and the news anchor that you're a former FBI agent? I don't know. I guess that's something for you to think about. Everyone is saying the raid was illegal. Okay. I asked everyone a simple question. Did a judge sign the search warrant? Yes. Okay. I'm glad we got that far. When the judge signs a search warrant, does the FBI execute the search warrant? Yeah, clearly they did. Great. I'm glad we got past that part. Now, because he's the former president, he always has Secret Service around him. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day out the year, for the rest of his life. The only unique and special thing about this particular search warrant, if you ask my opinion, which I believe is a lot better than any of yours and facts of life, is normally when the FBI has a search warrant, they either kick down the door because they don't want you to destroy evidence, or if it's a special kind of case, they'll knock on the door and ring the doorbell and give you a courtesy and show you a copy of the signed search warrant by a federal judge. And then they proceed to execute the search warrant. So what's the problem? Why is everyone telling me it was an illegal search? There's a couple other things to get to. But I don't understand when people say it was an illegal search. They should have never done that. It was an illegal search. Did we not already agree that the search warrant was signed by a judge? Did we not already agree that the FBI contacted Secret Service and stated pretty much in so many words, we're with the FBI, we have a search warrant to search this property signed by this judge? I think the billion-dollar question that you guys should be asking yourself is, did Secret Service see the search warrant and identified that it was the real FBI, and they said, yeah, okay, this is a search warrant. It is signed. This guy is with the FBI. He showed me his credentials. We have to let them in. I think the real question you should be asking yourself is, more than likely, did that Secret Service agent contact his boss, which is he probably did to a certain degree, and verified it with another agent, and that person and his superior said, yes, it's a legit search warrant, it's signed, and those are real FBI agents. Stand aside. What's the fucking problem? Are we in agreement with this? Are we in alignment with this? Great. I think we are. Now, that being said, another argument which I want to educate myself. I would like to know. I'm not like you. I don't claim to know everything. I just claim to know a lot more than you. Another argument that a few are bringing up is they did it wrong. They were supposed to go through certain channels. Okay? My response is, what channels? What law does it say when you raid a former president's house? They're supposed to go through these channels. And that's where they hang up on me. That's where they get mad at me. That's when they call me an idiot. That's where my own family doesn't love me anymore. Oh. That sucks, man. Because I can't make new friends. My fellow Americans, this is all new to us. I do not believe, and I could be wrong, because I don't do federal politicians, I don't do federal law, I never got into that. They would have had me disappeared many, 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 many years ago if I barked up a certain tree the way I have barked up certain trees with state corrupt politicians. I wouldn't be able to pull half the shit that I've done so far in my life to certain puppet politicians. So I stay away from them, and I always had, and I always will. I do not know if there is a law in concrete that states when the FBI has a search warrant, they have to do more than just get it on paper signed by a federal judge. I don't know if that law exists. I'm leaning on 99.9%. No, it doesn't exist. And the reason why I'm leaning on 99.9% that it doesn't exist is because I don't think the Constitution and lawmakers would have ever thought in a million years that the FBI would have to go and raid and do a search warrant to a former president of the United States of America. This has never came to anyone's mind. So, no, I do not believe there is a law where it says we need to go through certain protocols when you do a search warrant for a former president. And where everyone keeps getting real mad at me, which I guess this is why you don't want me picking 12. You can't hang up on the jury. You can hang up the phone on me, I guess. You'll call me back. I love you. You'll call me back. I'll call you tomorrow. I simply asked you because I want to be fair. Because I feel I have integrity. Because I want to learn. Because I don't want to mistreat you. I know how that feels. It feels like shit. Trust me. I don't want to be that demon. Can you please show me the law where it says before the FBI gets a search warrant, before a federal judge signs it, the FBI has to do this. The FBI has to do that. The FBI has to contact this person. The FBI has to do that. I want you to show me a section. I want you to prove it to me of the difference between a search warrant for any of us normal citizens versus a former president. And none of you have shown me that. You all hung up the phone. Why do you hang up the phone? Why do you get mad? Why do you lose the battle? Why do you leave the jury? The jury is sitting here listening. They want the evidence as well. Why do you do that? Take your time. I know I'm going to get flooded with comments, and I'm not holding them. I go through them. I will release the comments. I do that every couple weeks. I know I'm going to get flooded with comments, and I know I'm going to get flooded with just all kinds of shit. But I just ask you to flood me with the law. At least show me something in the FBI handbook or the Justice Department's handbook where it states if the federal government needs to do a search warrant of a former president of the United States of America, this has to be done this way. This has to be done this way. This person needs to be notified. This agency needs to be notified. And I give you my word, I will look at it. I give you my word, I want to know about it. I think every single person in America right now, actually probably the world, I think we're all learning how this procedure works. Because it's never fucking happened before. So for all you people at CNN and all you people at Fox and all you people who are law professors and all you so-called former FBI agents who are going on TV using the Bureau for whatever you want to say you're using it for, by the way, I do not believe you. I think you have opinions, but you don't have facts. Here in the state of Illinois on a state level, if you want to check any law, all you have to do is simply go to Google and type in the Illinois General Assembly. And everything's there. Before the internet was around, if you ever went to a lawyer's office, the lawyer had books all behind him because lawyers read. Lawyers know the law. Lawyers know the sections. Lawyers cite common law. Lawyers cite things that were handed down from the Supreme Court. And then other lawyers see those cites and other lawyers go ahead and they argue. If the law was so simple, there wouldn't be lawyers. You guys can't even cite me anything though. You can't cite me one fucking thing besides your opinion. All you do is send me shit from Fox and CNN. But you can't cite me anything. Why? I'll tell you something though. Psychology is a beautiful thing. The brain is a beautiful thing. Life is about understanding each other. Life is about identifying each other. Life is about, I take my body and my soul and I go ahead and I put it in yours. Because I want to know you. I want to understand you. I want to know what you're going through. I want to walk in your shoes. I got a brand new pair of shoes because I got to do a little walking this week. Maybe you got some old shoes that you haven't bought and new shoes in a couple of years. So your feet hurt. So you're cranky. You guys thought I was joking when I said this before, and I wasn't. I was being 100% serious. Most of the time in my life, I'm not ever being taken serious. I don't know why. But a lot of people don't take me seriously. I said before, I went to court one day a few years ago on a separate matter, and I dressed up in a suit and tie, and I had dress shoes on. And I had to stay in those dress shoes for approximately 3 hours. My feet were hurting. My feet hurt more than they have ever hurt, ever, in my whole entire life. I could see why some lawyers and some prosecutors and some public defenders are angry as fuck. They have to stay in those shoes for 8 hours a day. I want to get in their shoes to feel their pain. And when I feel your pain, I'm going to sympathize with you. I would like you to feel my pain. Please cite me a law. Please find me something in some type of handbook where it says when you raid a former president of the United States of America's home, it's different than raiding an average citizen. And you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to contact this, you need to contact that. And I'll listen. So I ask you one last time. Can you cite me that before you flood my fucking video with whatever? I don't think you can. Now let's move on. Next. Political. The argument is there's a lot of people who fear Donald Trump will win in 2024. Okay. Yes. 100%. Guaranteed. Fact of life. Yes. He is the biggest threat to anyone who's running for president. Agree. Next fact of life, though. Even though that's true, you can't prove that. And I can't prove that. But we're not stupid. We do know he is the biggest threat. Next. Did Biden and the White House know that the FBI was going to raid his home? Fact. Kind of doesn't matter. But we can't prove it. Kind of doesn't matter. But let's just say hypothetically it does matter. We can't prove it. So now what? I asked a simple fucking question. Should I repeat myself? Fact. We can't prove it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't stick on things I can't prove. We have liars in this world. We have liars who have been lying for so long they don't know how to tell the truth. I don't know. But we can't prove it. So let's move on. Other issue. Your other issue, actually. Not mine. I already know. Other issue. Well, let's just get straight to it. You guys have a lot of issues. I already verbally destroyed your main arguments. I'm not going to be here all fucking night. I'm going to go to sleep, take my Advil PM pills, and smoke a pack of cigarettes tonight. Let's just get straight to it, okay? 1. The FBI got 15 boxes. They got 15 boxes of something. 2. Do some psychology. Do some brain work. Think like a criminal. Someone just told me, actually 2 people, 2 people told me, you think like a criminal, Eric. That's how you gotten this far. Oh, well, fuck, shit, welcome to America. Don't you think people in law enforcement went to college to learn how to think like me? You're getting it from the source, baby. Okay. So I used to be a criminal. Your lawyers are criminals. Your politicians are criminals. Your banks are criminals. Your credit card companies are criminals. The only difference between me and them is I stopped doing that criminal shit many, many years ago. I haven't did a crime since 2006 as far as money goes. I just stopped because of God and karma. I just stopped because I'm 42 years old. I just stop because I know the universe and God's watching me, and I'm just done. I'm just not greedy anymore. I just stop because I already have everything, as you can kind of already tell. I really stop, to be really honest with you, just because God's watching me, and I'm done. I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not in my high school anymore. You people, though, you guys are old as fuck, and you're still doing this. It's never enough money for you. But anywho, if you say, well, I'm really good because I used to be a criminal, God, fine, so be it. You guys went to school to try to study people like me, so okay, that's fine. I won't argue that too much. I was smarter before I was a criminal too, by the way, but that's fine. I won't argue that. Donald Trump never, ever, ever, never, ever expected to get raided. Fact. His psychology is he'll keep whatever's in those 15 boxes in those documents. He'll keep it. He knows it's not supposed to be in there. He knows he's not supposed to have it. He knows something's fucked up in one of those 15 boxes. He'll keep it. Because in his mind, criminal, by the way, criminal mind, amateur criminal mind, by the way, I mean, expert, real criminals rip and burn that shit up. I mean, no one ever found anything at my house when they raided me. So, Donald Trump is not an expert criminal. In his mind, he's the president. In his mind, he has Secret Service. In his mind, he's hot shit. In his mind, they will never go that far to get a search warrant or even try. In his mind, the FBI would never, ever even get a judge to sign it. In his mind, this is a safe. It's mine. I'm the only one who has the code. In his mind, I have this big-ass mansion. I'm powerful. Make America great again. In his mind, he would never, ever, ever think about ever getting raided. He kind of thought it was impossible. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever one you want to look at it as, he was wrong. So now they have it. What do they have? Well, my opinion, probably something to do with his taxes. Probably something that he got from the White House that he wasn't supposed to have in his possession. Probably something that he was supposed to turn over that his lawyer said he turned over, but he didn't. Fact of life. Not an opinion. Fact of life. Learn this in high school. When the FBI wants you, they have you. Fact of life. It is very, very unlikely, and I'm not saying it never ever happened, because they don't plant evidence, but it is extremely unlikely when the FBI does a search warrant, they're going to leave empty-handed. I told this to my family. I told this to my friend. They all hung up on me. What do you think the FBI is going to do in a month? Give a press release? To the American people, my name is Hot Kelly, and I'm a spokesperson with the FBI. 2 months ago, we raided Donald Trump's, former President Donald Trump's bungalow in Florida. We found nothing. We want to apologize to the Trump family, to the Trump voters, and to the American people for putting him through this. Everyone can go home. I mean, you really think that's what's going to happen? You really think that's how this is going to play out? Come on, man. So you guys fucked up on something. You're not seeing the bigger picture, though. You're not seeing the bigger picture. As Americans, you're just not understanding it. He should have never, ever, ever, never, ever did that to James Comey. That was a terrible, cruel, evil, and I can't even think about it, mistake. I'm a fuck. Sometimes I'm known to be a piece of shit. Sometimes I'm a snake. You do that to people like me. You do that to people like you. Comey is an angel. Comey has integrity. Comey is honest. Comey You could trust Comey. You want Comey. You don't bother angels. You just don't pick on certain people. You don't do that. That's where all this is coming from. And I'm sitting back, just watching it. And as far as James Comey goes, I can't speak for him. Never met him. But somewhere in his head, I'm going to say he's probably just thinking, well, I don't want Donald Trump to go to prison. Because he's a humble man. You're not good with psychology, are you? You guys keep saying Comey, Hillary Clinton, Comey, Hillary Clinton. You guys are still on this. And after all these years, you still haven't figured it out. When James Comey first appeared, he actually, in the very, very beginning, he actually stood in favor of Hillary Clinton. And then all of you guys were calling him a Democrat. You accused him of being a Democrat. No one brings up the early stages. In the very beginning, the tip of the iceberg, you accused James Comey of being a Democrat because of one little thing that he said about Hillary Clinton. Just one. And then later on down the road, I think approximately 3 months later, him and his team start investigating a crime of taking illegal servers home. Now, all of a sudden, those same people who were saying James Comey was a Democrat, all of a sudden, he's a Republican now. And I'm sitting back watching the news, saying to myself, I thought you just accused him of being a Democrat. Now he's a Republican. Well, you can't have it both ways. Do you know that James Comey goes to church? Do you know that James Comey is a Christian man? Do you know that James Comey said, and again, I learned this in high school. I went to a great fucking school. Better than yours. Do you know that he said, when the FBI investigates something, they have to prove intent? Do you know what intent means? Do you know he was trying to say, before a crime is committed, that person pretty much in so many words has to wake up and say, I'm going to commit this crime. I'm going to do this crime. I know it's a crime, but I'm going to go through with it anyway. Do you realize, Jesus Christ looking at me now, the only reason why Hillary Clinton is not indicted and probably not in prison is because James Comey is just a church-going guy who likes to see the good in every human and just realized she made a very stupid mistake. I believe his words were, she was careless. And I believe what he truly, really wanted to say was, she was just a stupid, dumb motherfucker who did a stupid, dumb thing. Do you realize that? If Donald Trump was in the same situation as Hillary Clinton, I guarantee you, on my soul, James Comey would have did the same outcome for Trump and said he was just careless. But see, you're not good with psychology. You don't understand how any of this works. You don't understand how to play dominoes. You don't know how to think. You're too busy hating. You're too busy continuing on with this propaganda. You're not that smart of a person. And sometimes it sucks to be me because I'm a genius and I play dominoes. And I have like all these people who believe they're smarter than me, and I kind of have myself to blame because I say to myself, I have been playing dumb for so fucking long to wheel a lot of people in, and now they actually really truly believe I'm dumb. You watching this, you think you're smarter than me, don't you? Yeah, I'll prove something. Kick back. I'll prove something. Want to hear a story? Why do I do this with you people? This has to be one of my last YouTube videos. I can't continue on doing this with you guys. I move into the suburbs. I just can't continue on doing this. I can't. I'm done. I can't. Once upon a time, 2 years ago, I'm in an interrogation room. So they say, okay. That's what you call an interrogation room? I don't think you saw a real interrogation room. An interrogation room to me is where a terrorist is tied up on a chair like this, and he or she is about to be put through some serious pain to give up some information on a terrorist plot. That's an interrogation room. Fact of life. But you guys say it's an interrogation room because there's just concrete walls. Okay. So once upon a time, I'm in an interrogation room, just waiting for certain people to come in, as expected, by the way. Well, I see the monitor when I go in. That's very clear. The second part is I see the camera on the upper left-hand corner. That's very clear. The third part is I see the mirror on my left-hand side, my 9 o'clock. That's very clear. The fourth part is I know that mirror is doubled mirror, and there's a camera in there that's recording. That's very clear. The fifth part is I know when my friends come in the room, it's going to be recorded in different angles. And there's going to be special people in that room. That's very clear. So what the investigators don't understand, and unfortunately I do, don't worry, I'm done, I'm retired, I'm not doing this anymore. You humans have really just wore me down of your lack of intelligence and the hate that you guys have inside of you. It's just like, I pray that you guys all grow up one day. And I'm talking to everybody. You need to grow up one day. So, in the investigator's mind, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And they continue on. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Do you still want to talk to me? In his mind, he wants me to say yes, yes, yes. Because in his mind, every single thing that I say, he's going to put down. Sometimes, not in my case, sometimes they're going to twist the words, they're going to manipulate it. Sometimes they're going to twist the words by accident. And the real truth of the matter is, that investigator wants to be able to go to the prosecutor and say, this is what Eric told us. Okay. I didn't know that. But since I'm such a domino player and I've been doing this since I was in high school, I'm thinking a few dominoes ahead. The investigator's trying to please the prosecutor. The prosecutor's trying to please himself to build the case. And I'm trying to please the jury. Ever talk to an investigator? You're talking to the jury. Ever talk on a state phone? You're talking to a jury. Ever talk on any kind of phone? You're talking to a jury. Anytime you talk to the prosecutor, you're talking to a jury. But it fascinates me because the investigator, he's not thinking about the jury. Fascinating is the investigator, he's thinking of the prosecutor. What fascinates me is the prosecutor's thinking of building his case. And what fascinates me is while they're in a room and there's concrete, there's a camera there and a camera there and certain people that I know who's in that room there. And while they think they're talking to me, I'm actually having my eyes closed secretly, and I see 12 juries. So what do I want 12 juries to see? What do I want 12 jurors to hear? Well, let me guess. Hello, how are you doing today? Yeah. Okay, so I believe I was put in prison for a crime that I didn't do by Lisa Manigan's office. I believe they lied to a jury. I had a contract that was signed, that was notarized. I believe that I was put in prison for something I didn't do. And I tried to reach out to them, to send them this evidence, to send them this contract, to send them this notary. I tried to tell the Attorney General's office that I was innocent. And all I wanted them to do was address it. But they wouldn't listen to me. Oh, and here comes the interruption. Well, that interruption's great. That interruption is beautiful. Good cop, bad cop. I love that interruption. The interruption is actually better than the first thing. Do you know why? Because now I'm focusing on this investigator. Now my eyes are open, but I still see the 12 jurors. Now I'm speaking from my heart. There was a cop who just got hit with the pole. You can't let that continuing happening. What does the jury see? The jury sees a person who gives a fuck about the Chicago Police Department. The jury sees the investigator is just sitting there and has no answers. And then the other investigator has the nerve to say, it's not that we like to happen, but you're not doing anything about it. The jury is just going to see a man who is trying to get his life back from the 3 years in prison when he should have never been there. The jury is just going to see that he's trying to help out the Chicago Police Department, as I was. But you people still think you're smarter than me, huh? Let me guess, my cock doesn't get up anymore. That sound familiar? Don't think. You people don't think. You don't play dominoes. You don't think ahead. You don't have integrity inside of you. You don't look at the bigger picture. No manipulation. Jesus Christ looking at me now. Holy Spirit looking at me now. God looking at me now. You haven't figured out that we're all fucking humans? You haven't figured out that we all like money? You haven't figured out that we all like beer and food? You haven't figured out that the higher-ups are just dividing us more and more? You haven't figured out that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump like to eat the same food that we like to eat? You haven't figured out that everyone is just trying to get by in this life? You haven't figured it out that we all need water to survive? You haven't figured out that we all just want to have a little extra money to have fun with? You haven't figured out you take off your shirt and I take off my shirt that we're the same people? You haven't figured out and looked past our skin color? You haven't figured this out yet. And more than likely, you're never going to figure this out. And Jesus Christ looking at me now, I feel sorry for a lot of you people, because when our time is up from natural causes, I think a lot of us are in trouble. Maybe even me. Because we're all going to be judged. None of this is going away. Everything that we have ever done is noted. So you haven't figured that out yet. You're on this track that you just can't get off of. And then God knows that I tried so hard to get certain people off this track. Lord knows that I tried to help out every single person I could, but I clearly failed because I have demons who don't want to help me. I have demons who just simply don't care. I see a Chicago police officer get shot. I get pissed off and I cry when no one's watching, and then I act and I do something and I put a plan together and I pursue it so it doesn't happen again. You guys see a Chicago police officer get shot and it's just business as usual. Go to her funeral and say this is sad and that's it. We have a lot of differences between you and me. I wish I was dumb like you guys. Then I wouldn't be so depressed and smoking all these cigarettes like I fucking smoke if I was this naive. Doesn't matter who the president is. We're all fucked. Doesn't matter. God bless. Good luck. Peace. Stop thinking you're smarter than me. I always have something planned in the future. I already have 3 other plans lined up that are legal, by the way. Legal. Don't call me to send an argument. Don't bother me. My old friend told me back in 2013 it was one of the best conversations I ever had in my life. You are a snake. You are a snake in the desert with ants and cockroaches on you. You are an animal. You are a manipulating motherfucker. You are a snake in the grass who's already been eaten and you're still slithering. Yeah. I am. But like someone told me many years ago, bad things happen for good reasons. If you are going to be a professional liar, it better be for a good reason. You can go ahead and look at my White Sox ad and my name Blaxican and the color of my skin all you fucking want to. Jesus Christ, looking at me now, I am not even a crumb of the real criminals. You and I both know that I'm just an easy target because I'm a spick. I'm just an easy target because I don't have my law license. I'm just an easy target because I ain't Bank of America. Bank of America just got done committing crimes and opening up fake accounts, and nothing happened to them. Why? Well, because they're not a spick rapper with the name Blaxican. We already identified that. It's 1 + 1. Bank of America has been proven, and they got caught opening up fake bank accounts, fake signatures, mail fraud, wire fraud, signature, all kinds of fraud. And nothing happened to them because they are Bank of America. But me, I'm Blaxican. My skin's a little brown. I don't have a lawyer. I don't have bond money. I'm not educated. I don't have a high school diploma. We can get this spec. You sure about that? I don't think you're so sure any fucking more. I would take 20,000 bullets for James Comey. Do it to me. Don't do it to him. You guys are disgraceful for doing that to him. I'm embarrassed. Good luck. Be a friend to one another. Stop letting them divide the country.